Hi, I'm Lena. In this video, I'm going to be showing you step by step how to paint a colored rose. Just choose any shade that you like and 2 accompanying shades and follow along. So as you can see, we have the outlines drawn on the canvas. I'm probably going to make a video on how to actually draw the rose, but right now we're just going to be looking at how to paint and color the rose. To paint the background, you just take a medium. I always use water for acrylic, and you apply it with a paintbrush onto the canvas. If you have a background with 2 colors, you want to put white acrylic paint in the transition zone, the area where both of the colors will meet. I always experiment with my backgrounds. In this video, I actually changed my mind about 4 times. And the beautiful thing about acrylic is that you have the luxury to change your mind. You can make mistakes and cover them up really easily. Okay, now let's get started with the painting of the actual rose. And so we start off with some black acrylic paint. All we're really using it for here is just so we won't lose the outlines. Just to prove to you guys that it's okay to make mistakes using acrylic, I actually painted some of the background over the rose. Just take some rubbing alcohol and apply it to a sponge or a dishcloth. Just try to wipe away the paint, just so that I can regain the natural texture of the canvas. Now we're going to start the real painting. So choose a base color. Choose the color that you really want the rose to revolve around. So I chose this pale purple, and you just apply it all over the rose. Now we're going to start with the highlights. In the red rose tutorial, I actually started with the shadows and I ended with the highlights. But here, there's just going to be so many layers, it really doesn't matter what you do first. To do the highlights, you just take some white paint, and same with the black, you just dilute it with water, depending on where you want it to be. Next, I'm going to be adding the blue layers. Notice how the blue above the purple actually gives a really nice effect. That's the whole point of layering. So the more layers that you add, the more depth you're going to have. I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but you always need a reference. So whether that's a rose that you got from the florist and you placed in really good lighting, or if it's a photo that you got online, there are a lot of websites that offer artists free reference photos. The important thing is that you need something in front of you so that you can really capture all the details. Now we're going to start really accentuating the shadows of the rose using black paint. This really adds a 3-dimensional effect to the rose. You're going to use a lot of contrast, a lot of vibrant colors to really make the painting something that wows your viewer. Now I'm just going to paint the leaves on the rose, and it all depends on your reference, if there are leaves, what type of leaves. Like I said before, I usually change my mind about 5 times when it comes to any painting I'm drawing. And so I just decided that black would really make the rose more realistic. I'm just going to be really careful around the edges of the rose. But if you are a beginner, if you find that daunting, you can actually use some masking tape. I'm just going to be really careful with my brush. Now you get to add the small details. A rose petal has texture. And so you really just want to study your reference. When you paint something, you have to understand your subject. And so you have to spend a few minutes just staring at whatever it is you're painting and trying to understand everything that makes that thing what it is. We notice in a rose that each petal has a texture. So we're trying to replicate this texture on the canvas. And this is actually a really fun process because you see the painting coming to life. So we're going to add these little grooves, these little creases in the petals. If you're a beginner, you don't have to draw the dewdrops, but they really do add something extra to the rose. A good tip for painting the dewdrops is that not only do the water droplets leave a shadow on the rose, but they also leave a reflection of light on the rose petals. I'm also adding the texture on the leaves. And we're done. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, give me some suggestions on my next video tutorial. And thanks for watching.